Hi, I'm Allison.
Hi, I'm Justin.
And you're listening to the Otterly Owlsome podcast. Who knows what we'll talk about?
Go for it.
So, my peppers. One is almost red.
Ooh.
And red were my favorite, so as soon as it's red, I'm pulling that bad boy off.
Is it big, or?
It's not as big as the peppers you get at the store, but it's big enough that I could cut it up and put it in a salad.
Is it a bell pepper or one like a chili pepper?
It's a bell pepper.
Bell pepper.
And I have 4 more coming in. They just decided to take off while I was gone. So.
Yeah, plants are funny like that. Yeah, and you guys this weekend you guys aren't going to get as cold, but we might have our first frost this weekend. So
I'm jealous. I am ready for winter.
I can tell you got a pumpkin behind you.
I do. Yes, our whole house is fall.
Are you standing today?
I am. I was sitting because I flew. So I was in Arizona for Arizona Day. So shout out to my Arizona people.
How was that?
It was good. Yeah, it was really good. I got to meet so I'm the executive sponsor for the state accounts. So I got to meet all of them in person for the first time, which was cool. So.
Very nice. Yeah. I believe you were going to be discussing SPM and APM. Is that right?
Not specifically. I was talking about how we can use them to build out roadmaps and governance and all the fun things. So.
Nice. Yes. The SPM roadmaps are pretty cool. I don't know how much time you've had to play with.
They got very excited about it. So,
nice.
Yes.
Wait, who is this? What's going on here?
Whoa. I'm at the Riverside studio in Riverside.
That's right. You're the big boys now.
What? This is that one podcast I keep hearing about. The one everyone's talking about. What you guys talk about owls and otters, right?
All day. That's all we talk about, yeah.
I love talking about wildlife.
But you have to tell us your spirit animal after we introduce you.
I've been to several zoos. And frequently look at all the exhibits. So no big deal, but I've seen a lion.
So, how about in the wild, Brian?
I saw an armadillo near our house one time, and a raccoon, and a really passive-aggressive possum. It stared right at my wife, and she was not happy about it.
You realize they have really bad vision, right?
I do now that you've said that. Well, this one didn't, though. He had LASIK or something because he was peering into her soul in a major way.
And hissing.
He did hiss. And then he just waddled along. But apparently they eat ticks, so that's not all bad.
Ew, gross.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
So do bats.
I smushed them.
I don't have any bats that I know of.
I want to get a bat house.
We see, in the evening, we see bats in the sky.
Mm-hmm. We haven't lived in the trees by us.
I'd like a bat cave, but, with all the computer stuff Batman has.
So, who's going to introduce Brian? I think you should, Allison.
Okay. So this is Bryan Walker. He is an associate solutions consultant for Crossviews. So we thought we'd bring him in so he can talk about how fun it's been learning ServiceNow and just chatting about our nonsense. And beyond that, he's my brother, so I guess he's able to be here.
I could see the similarities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the beard.
That's it.
I'm I don't know where to go with this one.
No.
He's I'm keep Allison as my friend.
Exactly. Smart man.
Very wise.
Well, welcome.
I thought we were talking about OU, Texas.
Well, we can, but because you said lions, I do have to share one thing that...
Wait.
Yes. There you go.
Horns down. Yeah.
But we love everybody in Austin that might be watching this, right? We still love...
If you're a UT fan, not this week, not tomorrow, not this week.
Okay.
We'll go back to love next week.
I haven't
Fair
got
enough.
the podcast kind of marketing thing down with Allison yet, so she's very good
See,
at. Like,
I was trying.
So, before we get to OU, Texas, so
Okay.
Bryan said he's seen a lion, and one of the things that cracks Bryan up the most.
Oh no,
Is
this is true.
Let me find it. Hold on.
This is the most amazing, like, factoid.
I sent this to him, and it's the most hilarious conversation. And apologies for the curse words that are in it.
This is unreal.
But he just dies laughing every time he reads it because of the picture.
I think it's just the visual of a lion falling out of the sky. This would be the ultimate predator, like just like flying around through the sky and
space
like,
lions.
over a giraffe's head.
Yeah.
This is really funny, actually.
I'm skeptical that it can leap 36 feet forward. That's still a pretty long.
I just like him in
leap.
the sky. Like,
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite. That's the picture is what does it, because it's like if a lion could jump 36 feet into the sky, he could literally jump over a giraffe's head, and that's incredible.
we'll have to blur out the curse word, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's my favorite lion though.
That's an odd. I want to see that in person. Yeah.
The flying lion.
Yes. Yes.
Well, it would have been a much different evolution of humans, I think, if that was what we were contending with. I believe we would. We're co-predators, right? Like we're competing for the same food.
If a lion wants it, I'm gonna step back on that one. I'm good. Just,
You use your fire. You go, no, lion, stay away from my fire.
Fire! The old Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Phil Hartman. Fire!
no.
Phil Hartman was one of the great SNL cast members. For any of the younger people that might be watching this, he was great.
Okay.
One of the best Bill Clinton impersonators, other than like Daryl Hammond.
Very nice fact.
You have to do a lot of editing, Justin. I'm sorry.
He does.
It's
He's
yeah,
used to it.
it's not as bad as when Allison. Who's Allison? When Allison is sitting down and moves up and down on
Yes.
the camera. That's always
Or
funny.
my bun is like in and out of camera.
Yeah,
You have it easy on my hair today.
it'll be easy to frame. Yeah, as long as you don't move around too much.
I'm standing today, so.
Yeah, that's a Texas logo, isn't it?
No.
Dallas Cowboys.
I thought we were not Texas.
We're not UT.
Well, not
University
UT,
of
not
Texas.
not the Longhorns. Dallas Cowboys we love.
Okay,
Well, Allison's probably indifferent at best, but
I don't like pro football. I like college football.
I do love the Dallas Cowboys.
But yeah.
I was really sad when we went to our sales kickoff that we were in the middle of the snowpocalypse and did not get to go to Cowboys Stadium. That was like the
Devastating.
saddest thing ever.
yeah.
I was gonna try and kick a field goal.
I don't know that you
I
would
don't
have
know
gotten to go on the
how.
field.
I don't know how I was going to get there, but I was going to get to the field and I was going to attempt one NFL field goal,
And then be arrested.
and whatever the consequences were going to be, I was going to accept them.
So now I just pictured Bryan as the lion, 36 feet in the air with Dallas Stadium security down below,
Leaping
like,
over
trying
the
to get in.
security
Yeah,
guards.
you're just leaping over them. I'm gonna get this field goal.
I've got to kick my one field goal.
It's not working.
Allison's camera is drunk.
I know. Let me see if I scoot
Hey.
back. I can back up.
You're blurry.
I know. Usually that works. There. No. So Bryan, tell us about your journey while I'm figuring this out.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's actually almost been a year since I started. That is really crazy. this time last year. Well, I guess I wasn't with yet. I started at the very end of November, so it's close to a year. But it's definitely been a big learning curve for me, honestly. I had a lot of my ServiceNow experience was more probably so on the
Sounds like a Roomba.
Oh, our cleaners are here. So.
Oh, I was like, So yeah, I'd say it's been a big learning curve for me. Still is. I still, I feel like I have a lot to learn every time I'm around. I mean, Justin, Allison, David, Jim, or other people on our team, for those of you who don't know, but I'm always blown away by how much knowledge just the people I work with that have, and it makes me feel like, oh my gosh, there's still a whole world I don't understand or I'm still learning. And so I think the role I'm in, though, has been really interesting because I'm dealing with a queue of enhancement cases, and so it's a little bit different than what the rest of our SC team does. It's still very relevant, and anyone on our team could definitely do it, but getting to see kind of case-by-case examples of enhancement requests and having to sort of work through those is pretty interesting, but it's still challenging to kind of figure out how to apply, because again, it's that balance of finding the right estimate. You don't want to go too much, you don't want to go too low. You want to make sure and give your development team, your delivery team, plenty of time to do what they need to do, but you also want to make sure you're giving the customer the absolute best. I don't want to say deal, but you want to get the work done, and it shouldn't be bloated, I guess, so to speak. So for me, it truly has been a journey, and it's one that continues to be so, I guess. But did you want to say anything else about that?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Give you a chance to take a sip. Is there a particular part of ServiceNow that speaks to you more than another? Like, now that you've been exposed to it for this amount of time, is there like, oh, I get to work on that kind of enhancement or this product?
I don't know if there is particularly. I think what's interesting about managing is I see something different every day. So it's very rarely the same thing. It's all kinds of different enhancement requests. So we're seeing requests about, just anything from like onboarding third-party vendors to just like enhancements to the service portal. Like, I don't know. It's really a mixed bag from day to day. So I don't know if there's just one thing that I'm just particularly drawn to. But it is interesting. I guess what it's opened my eyes to are just the vast capabilities of ServiceNow. Like, it's so robust, it can really penetrate to any part of your organization and drive efficiency and keep everything sort of on one platform. That's what I think is interesting, is really everything can come under that ServiceNow umbrella.
Well, no two companies are using it the same way.
Well, that's the thing, is everyone uses it differently, but it still is so applicable to each one. Like, each one can really make it their own, I guess, and it really serves their purposes. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's very much a configurable solution that can meet the needs of, and like, we have so many different kinds of companies, like different industries, and all of them seem to be able to use it uniquely to drive their business and efficiency and help with IT and requests and streamlining and things like that. So that's what I find interesting, is it's not just like it has broad applications across a lot of different industries, I guess.
Yeah. He's seen me working in ServiceNow for how long now?
Like 100 years.
Something like that.
Since what? Well, since your H&P days.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to H&P.
Mm-hmm.
H&P.
Helmrich and Payne.
Is that a law
They're
firm?
a contract drilling company here in Tulsa.
Yeah.
Great company, by the way. Shout out to H&P.
They are.
So you're in Tulsa. I just heard.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm in Tulsa.
That's actually where I first met you.
Yeah, we went to that coffee shop.
Yes.
Just right down the street from H&P, actually.
I shook to death outside because it was so cold. We were not.
Yeah,
that was not appropriate.
Well, I felt the worst for Samson because he was just like in shorts and a t-shirt, and I was like, I can't believe how cold it is, and I think we offered to go in several times,
We did.
and he just, no, I'm fine.
And I had a jacket, and I was cold. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah, I think I had worn a jacket, and jeans or something, and I was like, so Samson, Iron Man, Ward, sitting in that freezing shadow. Gotcha. Yeah. No, not. Yeah, just because he sat in the cold. So probably.
He's from Florida, so he would have thought 80 was cold, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, but it was colder than 80.
I know.
For sure. It was a little frosty.
Yeah. So Justin, have you done anything cool ServiceNow wise?
Have I?
Yeah. Weren't you working on something this weekend?
I'm always working on something.
Okay.
What did I do? Shoot. I've been focused on Vancouver GA came out. Ooh. Gotcha. Yeah, we'll wait. I heard Miss Allison earlier, and I don't think Allison heard it. Now, you were in the middle of talking. I was like, well, I'm not going to interrupt Bryan. And I just heard Miss Allison again. So
Miss Allison.
Yeah. Let's call her Miss Allison from now on.
Miss Allison. Yeah.
Just to see if she notices.
Henceforth, she shall be Miss Allison.
I could still hear you.
Oh, sorry, Miss Allison. Yeah.
This is
Sorry,
the South, people. That's
Apologies,
what people
Miss
say.
Allison.
Uh-huh.
I like Miss Allison. Miss A.
Miss A. That's what it is.
I could have not been a teacher.
I'm your second grade student, Miss A.
Mm-hmm.
Miss A.
Miss S.
An apple for Miss A.
Mm-hmm. As long as there's some peanut butter with it. Apples. And peanut butter.
Well, before you left, I was saying that Vancouver GA came out, so I've been re-going through the release notes after GA came out. So what I was focused on the past 2 weeks is setting up our demo showcases, which is just a lot of time to download everything, install everything. Actually, you'll love this, Allison. So I did learn something new. I think we might have talked about this. The event management system in the platform, not event management, but event processing on the platform, which you actually found an issue with in one of our instances. Yes. So your issue related to my issue. So you had an inbound email action issue. That related. I had an issue with, I think it was strategic portfolio management, the goal stuff. I had done something that kicks off an event and it never got processed, and I didn't know why. And so you fixed it because basically there was a long running job. Anyways, long story short. So this is what I learned this week. There's going to be a video next week for this.
Yay.
In the event processing system in ServiceNow, you can have queues, and there is a default queue for the system. So, so Bryan, like if something happens in ServiceNow and an event posts, you have things that process the event, and those generally just fall into this default queue. When they run long or too long, it has a performance impact to your system, and that's why Allison was having an issue. Stuff doesn't work. Yeah. So in Vancouver, they've introduced a new dashboard in ServiceNow called System Events and Jobs, and you can go in and you can see how basically the health of your instance. Also, what's new in Vancouver is they've given you the ability to configure alerts on the events, and if they're taking too long, how about the average time or the whatever time if they're greater than a certain time. So our new instance started flagging a vulnerability thing. Was it vulnerability? No, it was a performance analytics job that was taking a long time. So I was like, I need to figure out this event system because this is like the third time in 3 weeks this has come up. It's a brand new thing I don't ever remember learning about. So I went and took a course in Now Learning on how to create an event, create a script action, and create a scheduled job to process the event and all that. So long story short is this thing that was running too long, and Allison, you can tell me if I'm right about this or not, but you don't want things running too long in the default queue. And so you move it off into a separate queue. So like Flow Designer has a queue. And
Discovery has a queue.
Yeah, Discovery
the
has
ECC queue.
Yep. So I took that performance analytics stuff, that event, and I put it in its own queue. And then I made a job that'll process that queue. And the jobs default to run every 30 seconds. And I'm like, this is a demo environment. This is performance analytics. So I set it to run every 12 hours. And now it queues up all the little things, the events that happen for performance analytics. And every 12 hours, it goes and knocks that queue down and processes everything. And our instance is performing better. So
I love that. I can do inbound emails again.
Yes. And now my brain is like alive with like, what can I use these events for? Yeah. So when you do the training, this is cool. So Brian, you've probably done this. Have you impersonated somebody in ServiceNow, Brian?
Oh yeah.
So that is an event. When you impersonate somebody, it creates an event. So you can actually create an action to start tracking. Oh, Brian just impersonated Abraham Lincoln, and Brian just impersonated Allison Walker or Allison Shirey. Sorry, my brain just went back.
Yeah.
And so then you can put that into a table, and you can report on it, and you can give it to security and say,
I had to give it to auditors.
Yeah.
Because we had to prove that people weren't impersonating and doing approvals for people. So we had to connect the log to the approval to ensure that it was that person or their delegate. So I had to provide that to an auditor before.
Yeah. So that's like this whole...
It's so much easier now is what I'm hearing.
It is. It's really easy. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. And cool. And from a maintenance standpoint, now I have new troubleshooting skills that I didn't have before learning this. Basically, since Allison opened a high ticket because of inbound email actions, that spun Justin into like a 2-week long learning fit.
Tizzy.
Yeah. And now I've come out of it of going, I understand my instances even better now. So
that's pretty cool.
I know. Problems help you learn.
Yeah, I'm a dog with a bone. Once I've got the problem, I'm just not giving up until I figure it out. Yeah.
So are you doing anything fun this weekend? Did you buy the mulch glue?
No, you did inspire something. We bought bigger rocks that won't move. So we're not going to use the mulch glue. We already did it. They got delivered this week, and my back hurts from putting it down the driveway. So it's done. But we went with these big old sandstone, larger rocks that won't move with the water. Yeah. And so Brian, no glue required.
Brian, what are you doing this weekend? Because I know what you're doing. So OU Texas. Again.
Why is he looking around panicked?
I just asked what he was doing this weekend. I said, I already know. He's watching OU Texas. So.
Oh, I couldn't hear I was trying to hear, and I couldn't hear you. Yeah, so Saturdays, me and my son Xander, that's like our run around day, and we give Mama a little break. So the boys just go hit the town, and so maybe I can, hoping I can convince him. Maybe we could go sit at like Buffalo Wild Wings and have lunch or something. Because Grandma's 50-year high school reunion is this weekend.
Wow.
So she is having
unavailable.
Her friend
Helen.
Yep, that sounds right. Allison knows names. I know generalities.
Yes.
I always have to. When we're at a family thing, I have to ask Allison, like, who is that, and are we related, and how?
Yes.
And then if I don't know, like when in doubt, I just give people a hug.
Oh,
I don't.
And that seems to. Well, so that's I'm the
You're the hugger?
Yeah, I'm the hugger.
Well, what's funny is he's older, I'm younger, our personalities are swapped. Like he has all the second born or baby traits, and I have all the older sibling traits.
So he's the nurturer and you're the not nurturer?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Like
I was trying to think of opposite of nurturing.
He's outgoing and like all these things, and like people exhaust me. And like I have to recharge. Like I was in Arizona for 2 days, and I'm like, I just need a nap and like a book and silence.
So I've always done like acting and community theater and stuff, and that's how I met my wife. And so I've been trying to get Allison to do a show with us like forever.
You had the perfect role for me.
So my wife directed A Christmas Carol, and we were both in it as well, and just totally fumbled the opportunity to cast Allison as the ghost of Christmas Future.
I'm tall.
She would just stand in a shroud
and point.
Don't talk and point ominously.
Oh, is that what you were just doing? You went off screen a little bit. So.
Oh yeah, just.
Oh, they hit the finger, yeah.
And that was our only chance to ever be in a show together.
It's not my jam.
Until now, this is like we're in a show together.
It is, yeah. It's a little performance, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Allison and Bryan can back me up on this. I've done community theater once, and it was. I won't do it again, but it was a good experience. Like I know I don't want to do that, but it was. I had to get through a lot of stuff mentally in order to, and I was like a background character. Like I wasn't even
really
like in the foreground and acting or anything. But it's the performance anxiety that you're talking about, I think.
I just don't like attention. And so like anytime when we were like even in church plays, I was like, can I be like a tree? I still remember the parts because in church stuff, everyone had to have a role. I still remember my lines. That's how traumatic it was for me.
Okay, maybe not then, yeah.
Yeah, like it's not, no.
But you do very well here. People love you on the podcast.
I know how to turn because I don't mind speaking in front of people if I know my topic and it's something that I'm passionate about, but I don't want to go be somebody else. Like characters, man, no thank you.
Gotcha.
See, that's maybe where I have my own issue, whereas I do want to go be someone else. So maybe that's like maybe that's some kind of psychological thing.
Maybe. But yeah, when the speaking I did in Arizona, everyone that had gotten up was like telling Star Wars jokes. And I don't like someone was like, so one guy, he was like, I'm an SC, my AE is Han Solo and I'm his Chewbacca. And I'm like, neat. Oh, I got this to work, by the way, finally. I don't think it'll work in Riverside.
Yeah, it should work. Gotta do it. Yeah.
What is it?
It's not working. I even updated all my stuff.
What's supposed to happen?
Woo!
Oh, mine doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
because you're not on a Mac.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like the double thumbs down because it starts raining.
Speaking of introvert, yeah.
Yes. And then I have this one does lasers. Hold on, let's see if it'll do.
I know that's a cool one too.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did it to Dexter on FaceTime the other night, and he was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "I'm magic." So he was like, "How are you doing that?" I was like, "I'm magic."
Power. The force is strong with you.
I had so much fun editing our last podcast, and it was about the monster spray. It's probably my favorite story Allison has ever told.
I don't know that. What the what?
Monster spray.
I don't think I know.
You should use this on Xander. You should totally use this.
So Dexter is not scared of anything. I mean, he truly isn't. Like, he's just not. And so every now and again, when he doesn't want to go to bed, he'll tell me he's scared. And I'm like, are you really scared or you just want to stay up? You know? And so he's finally figured out, he's just like, I just want to stay up. Like, that's fine. I'd rather know when you're really scared. And so one time he was like, I think there's monsters. I was like, well, hold on. We have monster spray. So I went and got our fabric Febreze and was spraying it around. And he was like, I was like, do you want to spray? He was like, no, I don't. But can David go spray outside? And I was like, yeah, let's go get him together. And he was like, David, can you? Because we have a crawl space under the house. And he tells me all the time that bears live down there and dragons and all kinds of things. So
he is like, truly my nephew.
Yes, he is. And so he was like, David, can you go spray the house? And David's like, what? And I was like, with the monster spray? like read my mind. And so he was like, "Oh yeah, buddy, I got you." So David's outside, like just spraying because he can't read. So
That's awesome.
Did Xander read yet? Did he know, Brian?
You could
So
make a
he's
label though.
Yeah, he's starting to read. Like the greatest like parental code is like when you spell things to each other, you know.
Yeah.
And
like I'm gonna go get some CHOCOLATE.
Yeah. So he's starting to spell now. So we can't do that because he'll be. The other day we were like talking about dinner, and Jenny was like, "Should we get PANERA?" And Xander's like, "Panera?" And I'm like, "No, it's over. Like we're gonna have to just learn another language or something."
Pig
because, yeah, I was gonna say like maybe I was like, and someone said like they think parents legitimately just invented Pig Latin so they could talk in front of their kids. Like that's the whole origin of Pig Latin is so parents could talk in front of their kids. So Xander's very practical though, so he would just say, "Dad, are you joking?" And if I tried to do the monster spray thing, and I would end up saying, "Yeah."
I guess they would have a limited.
Oh, see, I wouldn't. I'd be like, "No, I'm not joking." If that gets my kid to go to bed, I would have made a label. Like if Dexter could read, I literally would have made a label with like cute monsters and like monster spray and like put like an X through them. I would have gone.
I see a TikTok trend. I'm telling you, I can see it.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something there.
Hey,
we can market it. We have we put Brian on the cover on the face of it. You know.
Well, the best thing that Brian ever did is my mom wrote a list for him to go to the grocery store.
Oh my gosh.
And this was after he could drive. My mom loved when we could drive because then she didn't have to go to the store. And she had a list that was like, you know, I don't even know, but one said big can chili powder.
Okay, hold on. So let's just preface this by saying if a proper name is capitalized, is that correct grammatically? Mm-hmm. If it's a proper name, right, you capitalize it. Is that correct?
Like, yeah.
Okay, continue.
So she has a list of things, and one said big can chili powder.
How is it spelled out?
She capitalizes everything, though, so let's be clear.
This was the only thing on the list capitalized.
He searched the entire store for chili powder made by Big Can.
Because it was spelled big, capital B, I-G, can, C-A-N, chili powder. And Mom is specific about brands sometimes. So she had legitimately, but it was the only thing on the list that was capitalized like a proper name.
But he apparently got so exasperated, he asked for help. And they were like, "We don't know what you're talking about." And so he just grabbed one and was like, "I don't know what this is. This will have to do." And she was like, "This is fine."
I bought the biggest can of chili powder I could find.
And so
I've only ever seen chili powder in that little tiny one.
Oh no, they make big ones. But my uncle at the time went and got a big can of chili powder, made a label, and gave it to Brian one Sunday.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Brian, don't be too embarrassed. My first job was at a pizza restaurant. I spent hours looking for the dough patch kit in the walk-in because that's what they told me I had to go find. And yeah, hours. I'm like,
the dough patch kit.
Yeah, they're like, it says DPK on it. Go find the dough patch kit. And
yeah. That's okay.
There's if anyone on here is maybe from the oil and gas industry, there's a joke out on the, I don't know, maybe, you know,
Allison's
hey,
here,
ServiceNow is great for oil and gas. If you're out there, you should check it out. But for new rig hands out on the drilling rig, one of the jokes they play on them is they'll say, "Hey, go grab the key to the V door." And so they'll usually tell a new floor hand, like, "Hey, go ask there's like a motorman, there's like floor hands, motorman, derrick man, driller." And so basically, it's just a wild goose chase.
Yeah.
There's no V-door and there's no key to it. So the motorman sends him to the derrick man sends him to the driller sends him to the rig manager, and then everyone laughs at him because he's gone all over the rig. And I mean, this isn't a small area to cover, so he's going up and down stairs, and he's going all over the rig yard trying to find the key to the V-door, and it doesn't exist. And then everyone has a good laugh.
Love it. Yeah.
It's kind of a mild initiation.
We need something like that for ServiceNow. Like,
Right.
this sounds legitimate enough to go find this in your instance. And
So in my sorority, there was this one girl, God love her, but she was not bright. And she would tell us stories of things people did to her. So someone told her that she needed blinker fluid when her blinker went out. She went to a auto parts store and asked her, like, oh, we're all out. You're going to have to go to the one down the road. She said, I went to 3 stores until someone finally told me that it was a light bulb. Then she told us that someone told her that if there was a white outline on a stop sign, it was optional.
Oh, God.
She got pulled over, and the police officer, she was like, do you know why I stopped you? She's like, no. And he goes, well, you ran that stoplight. She's like, that one was an optional one. Like, literally is telling, and he's like, what? And she goes, there's a white outline and those are optional. And he's like, get out of your car. And showed her that all of them had it. And he goes, if these are optional, what would happen? Like,
Everyone.
but I'm just like, she's telling us all these things. And then one of my good friends in high school, no one taught her how to pump gas ever.
Yeah, this is what I was thinking of.
She thought you had to match your year of your car to the gas grade. And so she called me and was like, Allison, they don't have my year. And I was like, what are you talking about, your year? And she goes, I went to every pump at Oxford and they don't have it. I was like, well, did you go to Quick Trip? She was like, yeah, they didn't have it either. Like, is there only certain stations that carry my year? I was like, oh, sweetie baby, honey, no. Like, it's that's the grade of fuel.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so much to unpack there.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, what a nice police officer. I mean, gosh, we need more of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what would you say if someone told you? I mean, you'd be like, what?
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, God, where did you learn this from? Like, your driver's ed instructor was horrible.
How are you still alive?
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Or then it explains all the crazy shit. Like, do they just not see the red light? Like, what?
Yeah. Optional.
Quit making things optional.
So with true story though, I don't know if it's like this in South Carolina or Oklahoma, but if you see a yield sign as you exit the interstate on the off ramp, that's an optional stop sign. Mm-hmm. So normally you would stop and then go, and we have the exchange right next to me. It's a yield sign. So as a pedestrian and a runner, people run that stupid stop sign all the time, and they look at me like, "You're in my way." I'm like, "No, that is a stop sign when there's oncoming traffic."
Because
like
yield is the same way. Like, you still yield to pedestrians.
Yeah.
But no, if they say yield sign, it's like, oh, I can just go on through.
Interesting.
Pet peeve. I've got hours of videos showing it happening, so yeah.
Yes.
We ran over. I apologize, Allison, if you were headed somewhere else.
Yes, I am.
Brian, it was nice to see you and have you.
Yeah,
on.
good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Welcome to Toop. Yep.
Toop.
I love it.
The Otterly Owlsome podcast.
Do we not get to tell the OU Texas story?
If you want to, I got time.
Well, we're out of time.
No,
let's end with that story.
We'll end with that story.
Okay. So just real quick. So OU Texas, Allison and I grew up in Oklahoma, whole family, OU fans, love the Sooners. And so this one particular year, I won, when I was at HMP actually, I won the company tickets that they have for the OU Texas game that they just kind of do as a raffle. And, and so anyway, me and Allison and my mom, went down to Dallas for the game. We went down on a Friday, and, there's a I love sports, all of the sports. And so there's a sports radio station here in Tulsa called the Sports Animal. And, there's a one of the hosts for one of the afternoon show is Jim Traber, and so they always do a big pregame party thing at Humperdinck's, which is a bar and restaurant down in Dallas. And I don't know if it has to do with like Princess Bride. That's what I always think of when I think of Humperdinck, like Prince Humperdinck. But anyway, so I'd never been there before, and I was like, oh, well, we've got to go. And like my best friend Garrett and his wife and some of my fraternity brothers were there. They're like, yeah, come on. And so we drive down to Dallas.
Like to note, and I did not want to go.
Yeah.
That is a key Allison point to this story.
That's true.
Unwilling.
And then when Mom realized where it was, she was like, this is like a really bad part of Dallas that we're in. Like, not the best place to be. And so, but it's like daytime and it's like super crowded and it's like, surely, we'll just go in for a minute and say hi or whatever. So we get parked and we go into Humperdinck's and, we go see my friend Garrett and his wife and all some of my fraternity brothers and get to watch a little bit of the live broadcast with the sports animal. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then it's like, okay, I guess it's time to go. Like we were only there for like 30 minutes.
Maybe.
But, so we come back out and there's just a row of cars that have just been smashed and grabbed, like windows smashed out and stuff stolen out of just like a whole row of them. And so it's Allison's Jeep and these people next to us and the next to, and like, I mean, it's like a row. Someone just had a feeding frenzy of thievery. And so like, we're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And so we like start looking through and like, and it's crazy. We had a lot of stuff in there.
All they took was my book bag that had my work laptop in it and a book that no one would be interested in reading.
Yeah. And your
my sleep mask.
Sleep mask with headphones, which you were very upset about.
I was.
But they bypassed like several iPads and like some other stuff. Like we'd left a lot of stuff in there that would have been way better than what they got.
Yeah.
But what was crazy is, so Allison had, I think, State Farm. Shout out State Farm. And then the next person next to them also had State Farm. And they could not have had two more different experiences with their, I don't know, agents or
helpline.
So Allison calls, and the person's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That's so terrible. Are you okay? Do you need to like have some wine and take a bath and just is everything He's like, I'm gonna take care of it." She was like, well, yeah, well, and then this person was like, I'm gonna take care of everything. Like got us in for an appointment at Safelite the next day, like before the game, so it was barely an inconvenience. The people next to us, it's like the person was accusing them of robbing their own car or something. Like they had such a different, like they were like, are you sure you didn't just leave it unlocked, or did you really leave that there? Are you sure it got broken? And like they could, and then so like they're like hearing Allison's conversation, and they're like, who is your car insurance with? And she's like, State Farm, and they're like, what? We're on the line with State Farm.
I gave them that person's number.
Yeah, so they had this, but anyway, we go and like I think go have dinner or whatever, and like tape something over the side of the window and get Allison some wine. Yeah. But it was really impressive because like the next day we went to Safelite. They had it replaced in like an hour or less.
Wow.
And
I love Safelite. I am a lifelong Safelite customer now.
Yeah, shout out to Safelite. Safelite, if you're looking for any solutions, you might want to hit up and check out ServiceNow, because a great business only gets greater. ServiceNow. So, and then we still made it to the game right on time. Had awesome seats, and I do think OU lost, which was unfortunate.
It met the weekend standard.
Yeah, needless to say, Alice and I have never gone to OU Texas again together.
No.
Now, do you think it was a team rivalry that messed up the cars, or just a general
It's just that part of Dallas.
it was like, I think legitimately just someone doing some thieving.
Yeah. And
they did find it,
they
right?
found my work laptop. All of the security crap we get on our work laptops, they found it and we recovered it.
Nice.
So, way to go, BitLocker.
Yep.
Very nice, yeah. Another corporate success story.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the OU Texas story.
Yeah. So this weekend, hopefully.
And are they playing each other this weekend?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the big Red River rivalry. So they play at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, in the middle of the Texas State Fair.
Yeah.
Which that was funny because after the game, so we had these great seats, so we were in the shade the whole time, so we didn't even realize it was hot until we got out of the game. But then I made Allison walk around the entire Texas State Fair so I could find a pork chop. It was a fried pork chop.
I don't remember. I have blocked out a
but
lot of that weekend.
I saw it on this website and I said, that looks like the greatest thing that I've never eaten. And I should eat it. And so I just made her come on, we'll find it. And I think it was worth it.
I don't even remember. I think I grabbed a beer and just followed you around.
It must have been a hell of a pork chop, so I can't think of a pork chop that I've had that would be worth that kind of misery. But
I think it was. Well, I don't know if it was a pork chop.
I didn't think you ate
it was
pork
good.
Covered in chocolate and bacon or something? Or?
I think it was deep fried or something. Or I don't know. It was good. I probably wouldn't do it again, I guess. But it was good.
Now I'm hungry. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, it's almost lunchtime, so
perfect.
Just getting you excited for lunch.
And the weekend.
Okay.
Hey, Brian, when we sign off of here, just stay on the webpage for a little bit. Your video and stuff is going to continue uploading, and just wait for it to finish. Otherwise, I'll be hunting you down saying, go back to this website and upload.
It'll say upload complete.
Gotcha. Oh, I see. It says 99% uploading right now.
Yeah, just depend. It's recording separately so that everything comes together really nice and crisp. So,
sweet.
Actually, Allison, congrats! This is the first episode since having broadband or not broadband fiber.
I know.
You've had no issues except for the blurriness, but nothing to do with connection.
I love my fiber.
I'm going to take that section out. That's going to be a clip. Yeah. I love it.
Fiber is critical to your daily experience.
Allison says, kids, eat your fiber. Eat your
I put a fiber in my coffee every morning, so.
Here you go. Yeah.
Keeps you regular.
Cut that out. Ugh.
On that note, it was happy Friday. It's good to see you both. And so everybody knows, the game is this weekend. You will actually be hearing this podcast after the game. Go
Boomer
Team 1 winner. Yes.
Sooner.
Go Boomer Sooner, or whoever wins.
There you go. No, that's all. That's good. 11 a.m. tomorrow, live from Dallas, Texas.
Oh,
also, College Game Day. College Game Day will be there, broadcasting starting at 9 a.m.
But the game starts at 11, so that
Central.
Yep.
Oh,
but
Central.
ESPN has their College Game Day show that they go and do. So
where the people get on there and they have the cheerleaders behind them, and
Yep.
The guy with the big mask thing, it's a spectacle.
Awesome.
It's a spectacle.
Oh yeah, love spectacle.
All right.
Cool. Have fun, guys. Take care.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Bye.